Lane Frost had been interested and started riding bulls at a very young age. All the years of riding still left him defenseless against a 1-ton bull and its horns. You may think of Lane Frost as just another famous cowboy who acted like he was better than everyone else. He wasn't. He was kind and compassionate and always tried to help, even if he didn't have the time. If you haven't been around many rodeos, I'm sure you've heard of the Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association, now known as the PBRA. All information for today's speech was found on Lane Frost's official tribute website. Today's speech will include how Lane became interested in riding bulls, how Lane became famous, and how Lane tragically passed. Lane was born on October 12, 1963. His father competed in many rodeo circuits, so his mother was staying with her parents in Oklahoma. Lane and his family attended many rodeos. By the time he was 5 months old, Lane had a strong interest in bull riding. Mrs. Frost is fond of one memory of Lane. Awakening as the bull riding event would be held. It was always the last event held. They would always stand up to leave to beat the oncoming crowd, and Lane would start crying. But if they returned for the bull riding event, Lane would quiet down, remembering Lane Frost. Lane started riding bulls on his family farm. Between the age of 5 and 6, Lane was riding the family dairy calves. By the age of 9, he got on the bull for the first time. Around this time, he met Don Gay. Don told him to stick to dairy calves and steers until his bones were more fully developed. By age 15, Lane was riding bulls regularly. Fame found Lane during high school. At 15, Lane was the Small Fry Rodeo Association champion. In 1980, Lane was the bull riding champion of the Oklahoma Youth Rodeo Association. He was runner-up bull riding champion at the National High School Finals. At this time, Lane was only a sophomore. A year later, as a junior, Lane was the bull riding champion of the National High School Rodeo Association. He also kept the bull riding championship of Oklahoma Youth Rodeo Association. He was offered scholarships for bull riding, but chose to pursue a professional bull riding career, high school days. When Lane was 19, he received a full membership into the PRCA. Lane achieved many goals and received many awards during his PCR career. Lane became world champion bull rider in December 1987 in Las Vegas, Nevada. One of Lane's career highlights was being the only one to ever ride Red Rock for 8 seconds. Lane won the Challenge of Champions, riding Red Rock 4 out of 7 times. Red Rock. Lane died on the last day of Cheyenne Frontier Days in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Cheyenne Frontier Days was one of the biggest events in the PRCA. It was referred to as the Daddy of them all. Cheyenne, 1989, the last ride. It was a favorite between many cowboys. Lane drew taking care of business. He told friends that he had drew a bad bull, and he knew it. The same bull pitched him a month earlier. Lane was ready to go. He nodded his head and said his famous phrase, Okay, boys, okay. And the gate swung open. Lane rode out his 8 seconds. The bull turned and spun but couldn't budge Lane. With a score of 85, Lane could have won third. At the end of the ride, Lane let go and rolled off the bull's left hindquarters. This was Lane's favorite dismount. As soon as Lane was off, the bull pivoted. What happened next was very unclear. Lane did not have the time to stand. The bull hit him as he tried. After the first hit, Lane curled into a ball, and the bull hit him on the left side. Lane stood, motioned for help, and then collapsed to the ground. The second hit had broke a rib, which assumed had severed a main artery. Lane died almost instantly. If you would like to know more and learn more about this kind, compassionate, sweet-hearted cowboy, you could check out his tribute website or his part fiction, part true movie, 8 Seconds.